Hello and welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. I'm your host, Trevor, and today we're going to be talking all about the hood, and it is getting expensive to be in the hood. We're talking about Robinhood stock, the price currently sitting at $108, and we have seen a crazy rip up within Robinhood this last year. So just around Liberation Day earlier in April, what some liked to joke was liquidation day, we saw Robinhood sitting at just around $35. Since that point, Robinhood has jumped about 270% and is now sitting at a price of $108. And so many are looking at this now saying that it is overpriced and we could be seeing a drop in Robinhood, while others are feeling very bullish. So I'm going to give my opinion today, but before anything, I just want to say, as always, this is not financial advice, and I always recommend doing your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. And so the way I look at Robinhood stock, we'll first start out with some terminology around stocks. We have growth stocks and we have value stocks. And personally, I see Robinhood as a growth stock. If you don't know the difference between the two, basically a value stock is a value opportunity in the sense that the stock hasn't reached its full potential. Maybe earnings have been a bit shaky, but there's a lot to come in the future. Maybe the stock hasn't had the best revenue, or maybe they're under debt, but in 5 to 10 years, the company may be roaring. While a growth stock is already seeing the value within it, the value continues to grow. They have an accelerating earnings. They have a business plan that only gets better, and they dominate a section in their market. That's basically what a growth play is. And so I see Robinhood as a growth stock. So where some of the bears will point out to this play and say that it is overpriced is they'll look at the price to earnings or the price to sales in Robinhood and say that you are overpaying for this stock because these metrics are so high. And the bears have a point with that, saying that the price to earnings and price to sales are high, and yes, they are, but I think that they are high because of the value and the growth which is in this company and what is coming into the future. So as an investor, what I look at is the storyline behind the company, what the company is doing, and what I could expect for the years to come. So despite the price to earnings and price to sales being a bit high, I believe that those valuations will stay high for a lot longer because investors are truly paying for the future in Robinhood. And yeah, Robinhood right now at $108, that is a high price, but was it high at 100? Yes. Was it high at 70? Yes. And so if you're trying to look back in the history of Robinhood stock and are thinking that paying 110 is too much, yeah, the stock may fall a little bit, but if we zoom out long enough and look at what time will bring with the stock, it should only get crazier, because not only does Robinhood have great fundamentals, not only have we seen an accelerating earnings in Robinhood, with their best earnings being the revenue for quarter 4 of 2024 with $1 billion. This company has done a ton when it comes to innovation this last year. So first off, Robinhood is really transferring to becoming a full-out fintech company. If you don't know what I mean by fintech, what that is that's computer services and other technology used to support or enable banking and financial services. And so where Robinhood really changed the game was in April, when Robinhood set out this, and that is that they are going to launch their banking product later this year in the fall. So this actually hasn't happened yet with Robinhood. So currently, if you are investing into Robinhood, you are investing before this banking product becomes live. And why this is so huge and how this fully transitions Robinhood to being a full fintech company is, up to this point, Robinhood has been on the markets, but when it comes to banking, they haven't been a true official bank. Although you could put your money into Robinhood, you could have a credit card, they still weren't officially a bank. Now they are becoming an official bank. So this is a massive breakthrough for Robinhood, and this isn't the only innovation that has happened with this company. Robinhood is going global because we saw recently Robinhood also announced their direct blockchain access to their tokenized shares. So these shares are going to be on the blockchain, and they are trading for more than 200 different stocks and ETFs. This is going to be for the European Union, and these tokens are fully backed by real shares held by Robinhood. So if you're a little confused on how that works, that is how Robinhood is doing it. And also, if you are confused about this, just as this reads right here, while European investors can already access U.S. stocks through traditional brokers, tokenized shares promise faster settlement times and greater transparency. So yes, European Union out in the European Union, European investors could already invest into American companies, but this should just make it easier. This is massive because in general, we really are pushing more and more into the age of digital currency, cryptocurrency, and everybody also having their finances in their phone. So Robinhood is becoming everything. And currently, this company sits at a market cap of 96 billion. It should get to 100 billion very soon because, again, Robinhood is just completely innovating and changing the system, a true disruptor. And with this recent crypto announcement, this finally encouraged the financial giant, the old age Charles Schwab, to finally launch Bitcoin and Ethereum trading. And so this article talks about it being competition to Coinbase, but in general, I think this is only going to help the crypto sector because for a long time, there's been a lot of money that is in Charles Schwab that has not been able to invest into cryptocurrency. And this should only open the floodgates even more. And Robinhood does a lot with cryptocurrency. A big way they make their money is through crypto transactions. So this should only help to continue to push the flow, momentum, and more money into cryptocurrency. Robinhood is very heavily invested into cryptocurrency. And so this is positive for all crypto users altogether. And I think what this really shows here, this move by Charles Schwab, is that the young guys, the young companies like Robinhood have been such disruptors, such innovators that the old school money finally has to hop on the train of cryptocurrency. I mean, they waited long enough. They waited till Bitcoin got to 100K plus. But if we just look back in the timeline, think about how innovative Robinhood really has been. Robinhood has gotten so many users into the game, including both stocks and cryptocurrency. And again, this is so massive what they are doing for the European Union and what they are doing with this banking also. And so when we just talk about what could come for the future of Robinhood in the short term, we do have the big date coming up on July 30th, and that is going to be their Q2 earnings. And I foresee a good earnings from Robinhood. Their biggest earnings ever came in Q4 of 2024, which was $1 billion. In general, these earnings have been accelerating greatly when we look at it year over year to where Wall Street is projecting Q2 for this year at a revenue of $904 million. When we look at Q2 of last year, it was just at $682 million. So still a pop year over year. And also something to think about with Robinhood, that's just on the short term. Robinhood already at $110. I think by this earnings, they will be at 120. And if they aren't at 120, I believe that this earnings will pop them up even higher. But something also to think about with Robinhood, and what gets me more bullish on Robinhood over everything else, is this company is great because they are doing a stock buyback program. So in May 2024, the board approved a $1 billion share repurchase program, which is to be executed over the next 2 to 3 years. And it actually started in Q3 of last year. So an update on that, they have already bought back approximately 322 million shares during Q1. They're only going to continue to buy shares. And as this reads right here, this is a sign of confidence because the buyback signals that management believes the stock is undervalued and is confident in the company's share outlook. Just like I am very comfortable in my position with Robinhood. I am holding this over the long term, and I am very excited about what is to come. Again, some investors may look at this with a short-term thought. They may look at this and see the high price to earnings, the high price to sales, or even look at some of the technical indicators and scream that it's overvalued. We are technically riding pretty high on the MACD and the relative strength index also. But again, these are just the short-term indicators. Robinhood may be a little bit high. Maybe it will fall back down to 100. Nobody exactly has a crystal ball, but with growth plays, they continue to grow over time. So a play that we could compare this to is Palantir. I remember in my early videos, I was talking about Palantir at just, I think, like $30 to $40, and one of the commenters was super bearish, and he said how high the price to earnings was and how I was overpaying for this stock. Well, now we look at Palantir and it's at $150, and that is because of the fantastic fundamentals behind it, the accelerating earnings, the disruption, the technology that they are bringing. Robinhood in a different sector, but I believe all the same. Fantastic earnings. They are disrupting the financial sector, and they will only continue to grow as time goes on, because not only are we pushing more into the mass adoption of cryptocurrency, digital currency, and the digital age, but we really are pushing more and more into the age of everybody being their own portfolio manager. And Robinhood is, when we talk about just the last decade, Robinhood has definitely been one of the most popular brokerages out there, especially among young people. So again, we talked about how Charles Schwab is playing catch up with cryptocurrency. Now think about everything Robinhood is doing, has already done, and will do in the future. This company will probably do some unthinkable stuff, and because of that, the price will only continue to rocket in value. So there may be some short-term drops in Robinhood along this journey up, but personally, I believe that Robinhood has a lot higher to go, and I think the rest of this year is going to be absolutely crazy for the hood. So just like real life, where inflation is making the hood more expensive, well, the hood is becoming more expensive in Robinhood also. So get your shares while you can before the company buys them all back. Again, Robinhood is bullish on Robinhood. That's all I should have to say. A 30-second video. Robinhood is bullish on Robinhood by Robinhood. Right. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much, as always, for watching my video today. I would love to hear what your guys' insight is in the comment section below. So please drop a comment. Let me know what you think of Robinhood, if you're bullish or bearish, if you hold any shares in Robinhood, what your play is. Also, please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I thank you guys, as always, for being here, and I will see you in the next video.